Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. M. Harita from the Department of Public Administration. Today, we'll be talking about the BA third year, sixth semester core paper, Financial and Material Management. This is our second class. So today we'll be talking about, in the yesterday's class, we have discussed about in block 1, unit 1 and 2. Today we'll be continuing with the block 1, unit 3, and also we will try to complete unit 2, block 2, unit 4 as well. So now, first, I would like to come up with the topics what we are discussing today. In block 1, unit 3, today we'll be discussing about process of budgeting, that is preparation, enactment, and execution of budget. Then we will be discussing block 2, that is unit 4. In that unit 4, organization and functioning of the finance ministry. So first we will be talking about the unit 3, process of budgeting. That is, in that we will be talking about preparation of budget, enactment of budget, and as well as execution of budget. Now, in the yesterday's class, I have given you the introduction of the importance of budget, the scope of the financial administration, the meaning of financial administration, and we have also discussed about what is budget. Now, in this class, we will try to understand how the preparation of the budget takes place and what is the role of the finance ministry and how the enactment of the budget takes place and the execution of the budget as well as. So, the budget process consists of 3 stages. That is, first is the preparation of budget, then the enactment. Enactment means the presentation of the budget in the parliament. Then the third one is the execution of the budget, that is the implementation of the budget. So first we will understand the preparation of the budget. In that, first I would like to explain again what is budget. So the word budget is a French word which has been taken from the word baguette, as I explained you yesterday. So now the word budget is mentioned in the Constitution of India by the name Annual Financial Statement under Article 112. Under Article 112, the name budget is being given in the Constitution by the name Annual Financial Statement. So we don't have the term budget in the Constitution, whereas we have the annual financial statement. The budget is termed in the Constitution as annual financial statement and under the Article 112. Now, the preparation of the budget has, or we can say that it consists of 5 stages. The budgetary process, the preparation of the budgeting process consists of 5 stages. Now, what are these 5 stages? We will try to understand each stage. First, I will give you the 5 stages which are involved in the budget preparation. The first one is preparation of budget. Then second is the enactment of the budget, then execution of the budget, and accounting and auditing. So these are the 5 important stages of the budgeting process. So the 5 stages of the budgeting process are: first one is preparation of budget, second is the enactment of the budget, third execution of the budget, fourth accounting, and 5 is the auditing. So now we will start with preparation of budget. Preparation of the budget is the first step in the budgeting process. And as we all know that the financial year starts from April 1st and ends on March 31st. That is, as I told you yesterday, that the financial year, in government of India or in India, we don't follow the calendar year. We follow the financial year. That is, a financial year is being from April 1st, for example, from April 1st, 2024 to March 31st, 2025 is one financial year. So this is called as the financial calendar. So in this one financial year, what all the revenue and the expenditures which are to be incurred or which are being done by the government. So the budget is being prepared and presented in the parliament before the April 1st. That is in the month of February, the budget is being prepared and presented in the parliament, and after the approval of the parliament, the financial year starts from April 1st. So the financial year is from April 1st to March 31st. So this is a very, very important point to be remembered when we talk about the budget and the financial year which our country follows. So now, when we talk about the preparation of the budget, we have the Ministry of Finance. As we all know, the Finance Ministry or the Ministry of Finance is responsible and takes up that responsibility of preparing the budget, and also it also takes up the responsibility of presenting the budget in the parliament as well. So, the first and important point to be remembered under the preparation of the budget is it is the responsibility of the finance ministry on the preparation of the budget and as well as the presentation of the budget in the parliament. Now, in this, the budget, preparation of the budget and the presentation of the budget and the auditing of the budget, everything, it consists of three important organs, I can say. Now, what are these three important organs? The first one is the administrative ministries, second is Niti Aayog, then the third one is the CAG, that is the Controller and Auditor General. So, administrative ministries means all the departments or all the ministries who work for the country, for the government. Each ministry has its own role to play, has its own budget. So each ministry will come up with their estimates of revenue and as well as expenditure, and that will be submitted to the finance ministry, which will help the finance ministry in the preparation of the budget. So this is the first organ which is very, very important, which includes all the administrative ministries. Then the second one is the Niti Aayog. As Niti Aayog is a think tank of India, which helps the government in coming out with new policy making, new ideas and new thoughts for the development of the country. So Niti Aayog also plays a very, very important role in the preparation of the budget. Then the third one is the Controller and Auditor General. That is, in simple terms, we call them it is as CAG. Now, it plays as well as a very important role in the auditing. That is, the whatever the expenditure which the government has done in the last year, the auditing is done. That is, analyzing of the funds, where, when, how, why the government has gone for the expenditures. So these three organs play a very, very important role in the preparation of the budget and as well as in the execution of the budget as well. So in the preparation of the budget, as I told you, Ministry of Finance plays a very, very important role, and it has the responsibility of preparing the budget. And the three organs are the administrative ministries, then we have the Niti Aayog, and as well as the Controller and Auditor General. Now, the preparation of the budget has some stages to be followed. Means it cannot haphazardly go for the budget preparations. So there are some steps to be followed by the finance ministry and to come out with a well planned document of the estimates of revenue and expenditure. Now, what is budget actually? It is the estimates of revenue and expenditure. That is the budget. The budget, we just in general terms, we talk that budget is being prepared, budget is being, everybody come, looks up to the finance minister, what the finance minister comes up with in the budget. But actually, what does the budget consist of? The budget consists of the estimates of revenue and expenditure which the government plans for the coming year, the coming financial year. So hence the budget is very, very important for the next financial year of that country. So it involves, the preparation of the budget involves some steps. So we will be discussing each step. The first step in the preparation of the budget is estimates of expenditure. The first step is estimates of expenditure. Now, as I told you yesterday in the yesterday's class, that the preparation of the budget doesn't start in the month of February or in the month of January. Way back, 6 to 8 months before only, before the budget presentation of the budget, only the whole process starts. So before the budget is presented, before that, 6 to 8 months before only, the estimates of expenditure starts. Now, how does it start? That is, this is the responsibility taken up by the Ministry of Finance or the Department of Economic Affairs in the Ministry of Finance. Now, it is, how does it work? This initiative comes from the budget, from the division of Department of Economic Affairs in the Ministry of Finance. Now, what does they do? What does they do? They dispatch or disperse the circular of to various departments and ministries all over the country, to all the states and the ministries of different central government departments and ministries, and ask them and request them that what are the estimated expenditures for the coming financial year. Means each department has to send their estimates of expenditure. That is, what all they want to go for. Expenditure is the what they want to go for. We can say in that next financial year. Expenses, I can say. Expenditure means the expenses. What all expenses the government, the ministries or the departments want to go for in the next financial year. So they all have to prepare a proposal and they have to dispatch it to the Ministry of Finance or to the Department of Economic Affairs. So this is the first step involved in the preparation of the budget. That is, the first step is estimates of expenditure. Then we have the second step, that is estimates, budget estimates, scrutiny and consolidation. Scrutiny and consolidation. That is, in this step, the dispersing officers sent to the heads of the departments in two parts. That is, these dispersing officers means these are the persons who are being sent to the departments to collect the information, That is, now this information has to be collected in two parts. The first part is revenue and standing charges. Revenue and standing charges. that is the how much revenue they need, or what are the standing charges they are having. Then the second part is category figuring items year to year, and second is fresh items, means category figure items year to year means last year if that program is being continued, and next year also if the department wants to continue that program, then how much money they need for this from the next budget. So that is one aspect. The second aspect is the fresh item, means if the department wants to introduce any new program, new policy, or if they want to go for any new expenditure, they have to explain it in another manner. So that is a fresh item. So like this, the government, the Ministry Economic Affairs, Department of Economic Affairs collects the information for the from the all the departments, administrative departments, either it from the states or it from the ministries at the central level. Then we have the third step, that is scrutiny and preparation of estimates by the finance ministry. That is, the third step is the scrutiny and preparation of estimates by the finance ministry. Scrutiny means when the Ministry of Finance gets all the information from the administrative departments, it analyzes which can be included, which can be incorporated, which can be given more funds, which cannot be given more funding, which can be postponed for the coming years. So this all exercise will be done. Then the administrative ministries send this to the budget division. This all after the scrutiny and preparation of the estimates by the finance ministry, it reaches to the budget division. In this is a third step involved. Then we have the fourth step, that is preparation of estimates of revenue by the finance ministry. Till now I have discussed about the estimates of expenditure. Estimates of expenditure means what all expenses the government wants to go for. That is the first three steps. Then comes the fourth step. Here, they are in the preparation of the budget. This is the fourth step involved, where the finance ministry focuses on the estimates of revenue. Estimates of revenue. What is revenue? Revenue means the income what the government has to get. Now, this income, how can it get? Through the two, or we can say this can be done through Department of Revenue. There are three important or major things involved in the estimates of revenue, that is Department of Revenue. Second is Central Board of Direct Taxes. Then third one is Excise and Customs. Excise and Customs. So these three are, because we all know the government gets income from direct taxes, excise and customs. That is from when the citizens pay their taxes, when the citizens pay or pay for or when they go for buying, then for each and everything a common man has to pay tax. So it can be income tax, it can be house tax, it can be property tax, it can be land tax, it can be water tax, all electricity tax, everything. For each and everything a common man has to pay tax to the government. In turn, that taxes will be utilized by the government for the welfare of the citizens only. So this is a cycle where the money, how much money The common man pays in taxes. In return, it comes back to them only. So the revenue, the most important thing here, the estimates of revenue, the revenue comes from the Department of Revenue. It takes the responsibility of the estimations of the revenue. Then the Central Board of the Taxes, direct taxes, and the excise and customs. Now, after the preparation, two statements are prepared. Now, as I told you, estimates of expenditure and estimates of the revenue. When these two are being done, scrutinized, analyzed, and prepared, then these two are by the finance ministry. They will be, after the preparation, two statements, that is, two documents will be prepared by the finance ministry. What are they? First one is demand for grants, and second one is annual financial statement. The demand for grants is that the government wants more funds, so which cannot be included in the budget. So that is one document which has to be presented in the parliament. Then the second one is the annual financial statement. So these two are being prepared by the finance ministry, and these are finally the budget division of the economic affairs, which are responsible for the preparation. They present this and they get it. They prepare the budget, and also they make sure that it is being approved in the parliament as well. So the Department of Economic Affairs, in that the budget division, plays a very, very vital role in the preparation of the budget. So this is the fourth step involved in the preparation of the budget. Next comes the final stage in the preparation of the budget, that is approval by the cabinet. After the preparation of the budget is being done by the finance ministry, it is being presented in the cabinet meeting. In the cabinet meeting, that is, the finance ministry places the consolidated budget before the cabinet. After the approval, it is presented in the parliament. So before the parliament, it is when before the parliament session, before presenting it in the parliament session, the budget has to be get approved by the cabinet. Then only it can be, when the cabinet approves it, then only it can be presented in the parliament. So this is the preparation of the budget, and this is the first step, first stage also I can say, involved, and is this is the major stage, whereby, because the whole homework, the whole work of the next financial year is being done in this stage only. So the finance ministry, the Department of Economic Affairs, everybody plays a very, very important role and a confidential role in the preparation of the budget. Next stage in the budgetary process is the second one, that is the enactment of budget. Now, this enactment of budget, that is, what do we understand by the term enactment of budget? Enactment of budget means presentation of budget in the parliament. Enactment of budget means presentation of budget in the parliament. So, now this enactment of the budget also consists of 5 stages. Now, what are these 5 stages? The first one is presentation of budget in the parliament. Second stage is general discussion. Third is the voting demands. Fourth is consideration and passing of the taxation proposals and the Finance Act. or again I'm repeating. The first one is presentation of budget in the parliament, second general discussion, third is the voting demands, fourth is the passage of the appropriation bill, then fifth is the consideration and passing of the taxation proposals and the finance bill. So first is the presentation of the budget in the parliament. The annual financial statement is presented in both houses of the parliament, and it is started by the by the speech of the president. By the speech, we all know that the in the budget session, the president comes out with gives a speech in the parliament. After the president's speech, the finance minister presents the budget or the annual financial statement in the parliament. So the both houses of the parliament, this budget is being presented. And after the approval, we can say that in the both houses of the parliament is started by the president of India, and after the approval, the finance minister presents in the parliament, and when the finance minister presents it in the parliament, it is known as budget speech. When the budget is being presented, that is termed as budget speech by the finance minister. Then after presentation of the budget, the second step involved in the enactment of the budget is general discussion. General discussion means at the time of the presentation of the budget only, no member is allowed to talk in the middle of the session. And after the completion of the budget speech, then nobody can talk in the regarding that budget speech. Later on, the speaker fix a date. Fix a date, and the he comes out. He fixes a date for general discussion. Means the speaker fixes a date for general discussion where all the members can give their opinions and suggestions about the budget speech. That stage is known as general discussion. Then we have the third stage, voting demands. Voting demands means the demand for grants are then discussed by the Lok Sabha. That is, as I told you, that the government needs more funds, more grants, and these grants, unless and until the parliament does not approve, the government cannot utilize these grants. So it is very important. It is very important for the government to get approval by the minister, by the parliament, I can say. So the third stage is the voting demands, where the demands for grants are being discussed in the Lok Sabha. Then the fourth one is the passage of the appropriation bill. There, in this stage, there shall be a bill introduced to provide for the appropriation of out of the consolidated fund of India. Means through this appropriation bill, it gives power to the government to withdraw funds from the consolidated fund of India for meeting the expenditures during the financial year. Means if there is an emergency, or if there is any need for money or for grants, through this appropriation bill, the government can withdraw money from the from the consolidated fund of India. So this is the fourth stage. Then the fifth stage is the consideration and passing of the taxation proposals or the Finance Act. Now, what does this mean? That it is a provision The taxation proposals or the Finance Act is a provision is therefore made for collecting the required money by way of taxation for this purpose. A finance bill is being placed before the house. That is, if the government needs money, then they can go for some collecting of way or taxes. That is, they can if the government wants to increase some taxes, then through this act, through this taxation proposals, the government can go for the taxation, that can go for the taxation and can have more funds. So this is an another we can say stage which involves the approval, means in this all stages, right from the presentation of the budget to the taxation proposals, all these five stages are have to be approved by the parliament, and they have to, unless and until it gets the approval, the government cannot utilize these funds. So it is very, very important to go for the we can say the presentation of the budget in the parliament. So this is the second stage of the enactment of the budget. Then we have the third stage, that is the execution of budget. Execution of budget means that is the implementation process. So this involves now the finance ministry has prepared and has presented it and has got the approval in the first two stages. Now it is the responsibility of the finance ministry to implement it. So to that, it has five different operations needed. It has to go for five different operations. The first one is assessment and collection. First one is assessment and collection. Second one is custody of public funds. Third is disbursement of funds. Then fourth is accounting. Fifth is auditing. Now the first operation is for assessment and collection. Now, what do we understand by the term assessment? Assessment means the act of determining as to what amounts are to be collected from different individuals without the limits. That is, now, as I told you, the government estimates of revenue means the government has to collect money. To collect money, they have to go for some operations, that is, to different types of operations to collect the money. So to do that, they have to have an assessment. Now, how do they do this assessment? That is, we all know that we pay taxes every financial year, and some pay the advanced taxes. Now the government, the finance ministry or the government comes out with saying that you can pay your taxes, advance tax, you can pay your taxes, you will get some rebate or you will get some offers, you will get some discounts. Why do they do this? Due to collect more money in advance so that they can be utilized by the government. So all the taxpayers are hereby being scrutinized, analyzed, who have paid the taxes, who did not pay the taxes. All this assessment has to be done. Hence, we all know that assessment year. So each taxpayer goes for paying of each year taxes. That is the assessment year, they call it as. So each individual pays based on their income, they pay taxes to the government. that is termed as assessment and collection. This is the first and foremost operation which is being done in the execution of the budget. Now, who takes up the responsibility? Now, here the responsibility is being taken up by the Department of Revenue of the Finance Ministry. So, this is the responsibility of collection, assessment and collection of taxes is being taken up by the Department of Revenue of the Finance Ministry. Now, this finance ministry has two important sections or two important organs which play a very important role in collecting the taxes. That the first one is Central Board of Direct Taxes and second one is Central Board of Excise and Customs. So, the first one is Central Board of Direct Taxes. That is, what all income tax or what all taxes we pay to the government, these are the direct taxes. They go directly to the government. That is one wing. The second wing is Central Board of Excise and Customs. That is for excise duty on liquor or some excise duty will be there for everything. If you travel in airport, they give you some customs duty you have to pay. All these are the taxes. These are the taxes which have to be paid to the government. So this is all in one word I can say this is the revenue to the government. So the government focuses on the revenues. So these two wings play a very important role in the revenue department. So this is the first stage. The first, then the second is custody of public funds. Now, this all taxes are being collected by the government. So they have to be put together and to be safeguarded in a place. So it is the responsibility of the revenue, or we can say, or the Reserve Bank of India or State Bank of India and the Treasury to safeguard these funds. So that is termed as custody of public funds. All revenues that are collected have to be placed in a safe custody. Now the safe custody may be the Reserve Bank of India, the State Bank of India, or the Treasury of India. So we can say that these money will be kept safe in these banks. So that is the custody of the public funds. Then the third one is disbursement of the funds. Now the government has collected money. It has to give away to all the departments because all the departments have sent proposals, that is the estimates of expenditure for the coming year. So the money has to be sent to all the departments for the expenditure. So that is termed as disbursement of funds. So it is the process of withdrawal of money from the treasury for payment of various liabilities. So it has to be, the revenue has been collected. Now it has to be dispersed to various departments and sections whereby the ministries for the utilization of these funds for their developmental process. That is the third one. Then we have the fourth one, accounting. As I told you yesterday, accounting is the keeping systematic record of the financial records, financial transactions. That is, each and every account has to be maintained. How much money has been, how much revenue the government has got, and how much it has gone for the expenditure. That is being done through accounting process. Then the last one is the auditing. The auditing is analyzing and scrutinizing of the transactions what the government has made. The transactions here are the revenue and the expenditures, what the government has done. So the Controller and Auditor General of India, they take up the responsibility of auditing or analyzing and scrutinizing of all the records of the revenue and expenditure of the government. That is the auditing. So this is the final stage in the execution of the budget. So in the unit 3, that is a budgetary process, the budgeting process, we have discussed about the preparation of the budget. Then we have discussed about the enactment, that is the presentation of the budget in the parliament. Then we have also discussed how the execution of the budget takes place, that is the implementation of the budget takes place. Now we will move on to unit 4 of block 2, that is organization and functioning of the finance ministry. Organization and functioning of the finance ministry. Now this now, if we go way back into the history about the finance ministry, the finance ministry has a very long story, or a very whereby in the year 1810 the finance ministry was being established, and from then onwards the Ministry of Finance or the Economic Affairs, all these terms or the taking care of the finances of the country has started. Now, after independence, later on, after in the year 1947, it was termed as Department of Finance. And in the way back from 1949, the Ministry of Finance, the name has come Ministry of Finance, and under this 5 important departments are working under this Ministry of Finance. Now, we will discuss each one of the department under the Ministry of Finance. First, I will give you the 5 department names, then we will take up each one of them. The first one is Department of Revenue. The first one is Department of Revenue. Second is Department of Expenditure. Third is Department of Economic Affairs. Fourth is Department of Financial Services. And fifth is Department of Investment and Public Asset Management. So first we will understand the first department under the Ministry of Finance, that is the Department of Revenue. Now, Department of Revenue is responsible for matters relating to central boards of revenue, or customs, income tax, sales tax, all these. I have given few names. So, as I told you before also, in the execution of the budget, that Department of Revenue, the prime role or the prime responsibility of the Department of Revenue is collecting of revenue. How does it collect? Through taxes. So through taxes, it can be direct tax or indirect taxes, or so all the taxes. It can be what all revenue the government gets has to be collected by the Department of Revenue. So it is the prime responsibility of the Department of Revenue to collect the taxes. Then under this Department of Revenue, there are many divisions. There are many divisions which help the Department of Revenue to excel in its work, to excel in its responsibilities. So what are they? We will take up few divisions. The first one is the administrative division, where it takes up the responsibility of the administration, how it has to be organized, how it has to be the roles and responsibilities, how they have to be executed by each member and employee of that division. Then we have sales board tax division. Then we have narcotics division, excise and customs division, direct taxes, enforcement directorate, and Central Economic Intelligence Bureau. Nowadays, we have in the papers also we come across that enforcement directorates, that is, who don't pay their taxes properly, or who don't disclose their assets, who money laundering or black money. All these cases are being handled by the enforcement directorate. So means who do these division, as we by the name only it suggests, the Department of Revenue. So the government tries to get more revenue from the citizens so as to go for more of development. That is the first department under the Ministry of Finance, that is Department of Revenue. Then we have the second one, Department of Expenditure. Now, under this Department of Expenditure, what are the functions of this Department of Expenditure? That is financial, it takes care of the financial rules and regulations. That is how the rules and regulations have to be framed and how they have to be implemented. Then delegation of financial powers to the authorities. Then Indian Audit and Accounts Departments, that is how the auditing has to, because expenditure, the money has gone. So they have to have a thorough check. They have to have a thorough check of the money which has, or the finances which have gone out of the government. So the thorough scrutiny has to be done by this Department of Expenditure. Now, under this department, the what are the divisions? To name a few, we have Establishment Division, Civil Expenditure Division, Defense Division. That is, for each wing, defense division means how much expenditure the defense has come up with. The army, navy, and how much in expenditure the government has gone for these departments, these defense. Likewise, each department, each division takes up the responsibility of the expenditure which the government has done, and scrutinizes and analyzes them. Then the third department is Department of Economic Affairs. In this, the third one is Department of Economic Affairs. Now, what is the role of this department? The most important role of the Economic Affairs is preparation of the budget. Preparation of the budget is being done by the Department of Economic Affairs. And also, it is a responsibility of the Economic Affairs Department of allocation of funds. Allocation of funds to all the departments who have requested for who have sent their proposals for the estimated expenditures. So, the allocation of funds is the prime responsibility, I can say, apart from the preparation of the budget. The allocation of funds is being done by the Department of Economic Affairs. Now, under this Department of Economic Affairs, we have Budget Division, then External Finance and Foreign Aid Division, that is the foreign currency, foreign exchange, the external exchange, everything, all matters related to the finances of the are related to this economic affairs only. Then we have the fourth one, that is a Department of Financial Services. The Department of Financial Services. Now, the Department of Financial Services, what is the role of this and what is its importance? We can say that its importance is it plays a very important role, and it takes up the responsibility of key initiatives of the government. That is, the policies and the programs which the government comes out, and for that key initiatives, for the programs and policies, funds are needed to be to implement those programs and policies, funds are needed. So these funds, the how they have to be utilized, where they have to be utilized, and how much has to be utilized, everything has to be decided by the Department of Financial Services. Means they take care of the financial services of the government in of the initiatives which the government has come up with. And also, apart from these financial initiatives, they also take care of the banking sector, that is how the transactions are made, what are the how the banks are running. Everything has been taken care of by these financial services only. And apart from these, we also have the insurance sector. Means all the financial services. By the name only, we can understand services. Services means the government of India can do the what all financial services the government of India wants to give to its citizens. They are being taken care of by this department. So insurance is also a financial service. Banking sector is also the financial service to the government, to the common man. So these all financial services are being taken up by the Department of Financial Services. Then we have the last one, Department of Investment and Public Asset Management. Department of Investment and Public Asset Management. Here, under this, they talk about the disinvestments and privatization of public sector units. The name itself says Department of Investment and Department of Asset Management. Why? Because now we all know what disinvestments, that is, if the company is going for losses, if the company or if the government is unable to show profits, then and how to withdraw the money from, then we can say the privatization of the public sector units. If we all know now presently the government is privatizing all the public sector companies, all the public sector holdings. Why? Because they are unable to show profits. They are unable to come up with, we can say that the BSNL, all these, where they are unable to show profits. So what does these do? They come up with the ideas of going for privatization or public-private partnerships, whereby giving more scope for profits for the government. Because when the government, because as we all know that the government does not is not a profit oriented one. It only takes care of the people, and it only tries to facilitate, and it tries to provide all the necessary facilities to the common man. It is not the government is not a profit organization. It is a non-profit organization. That is, it is a welfare organization where it takes care of the common man, and the it only takes care of the facilities, basic infrastructures which are to be provided to the common man. Hence, if the government is unable to run these government companies, then it goes for privatization, whereby through this the government might get more money which can be invested for the development of the country. So we can say that the government, so these are the five important departments under the finance ministry. That is, this is the organizational structure of the finance ministry. The organizational structure of the finance ministry can be broken down into five departments. That is, the first department is the Department of Revenue, second is Department of Expenditure, third is Department of Economic Affairs, fourth is Department of Financial Services, and fifth is Department of Investment and Public Asset Management. So these are the this is the organizational structure of the Finance Ministry. Then we will try to talk about some of the functions of the Finance Ministry. So, as we, by the organizational structure and working of the finance ministry only, we have we have known that how important the finance ministry is and how important and the important role the finance ministry plays in the development, economic development of the country, and also it is, and how much we can say how much important role it plays in the in making the country more economically, we can say getting more higher standards. So the Ministry of Finance is responsible for some of the important functions, that is the administration of the finances of the central government and the financial matters affecting the country as a whole, like inflation and recession. So it is the responsibility of the finance ministry to take care of the inflation. Inflation when the prices rise. It is the responsibility of the finance ministry to take care of the rise of the commodities, rise in price. So they have to take care to steps to normalize or to lower the prices, whereby because the common man is the life is at stake. So they have to take the responsibility of the inflations and also the recessions. Then it is the second important one I can say is the rising the necessary revenue for carrying the administration and regulating the taxations and borrowing policies of the government. That is, we can say that the government also comes out with many new taxes methods or new whereby regulating of the taxes and collecting of the taxes, or we can say new ideas of tax collections. To why do they do? Just to get more income to the government, whereby it can be utilized for the development or the economic development of the country. So every time the finance ministry has to make sure that it comes out with new thoughts, new methods of taxation, and as well as it is the prime responsibility of the finance ministry to regulate the taxes as well, and also about the borrowing policies of the government. That is, the government also, we all know that the government borrows money or funds from the international, that is, it might be from World Bank or from the other banks of the world, where or investments from the foreign investors, or whereby to get more money, more income to the government. So it is a prime responsibility of the finance ministry. And third important one is the administration of problems of into banking, relating to banking and currency. We all know every now and then we come across that the banking sector and the currency, that is, we all have experienced demonetization, legal tenders, that is the money or whatever, the demonetization. We all have experienced demonetization. These all, and the banking sector, that is norms, what are the rules and regulations which the banks have to be followed, and everything has to be maintained by the Ministry of Finance only. Means, in one word, we can say all the economic affairs of the country. It might be about the rules and regulations, it might be about the norms, or also it might be about the regulating agencies or the funding agencies or the taxes. Everything, every aspect regarding the income and expenditures are being controlled and by the Ministry of Finance only. So we can say that the Ministry of Finance plays a very, very powerful role, and it is a powerful organ in the government. Without and hence this political heads, the Minister of Finance is a political head. We know that the finance minister is a political head. So that those we can say that now the Minister of Finance, the political head, he is being who is being given that responsibility, who have more knowledge about the economic affairs and the maintenance and the financial transactions. So, and moreover, the finance ministry has to work with integrity, and also should work and have to have the collective responsibility in safeguarding the economic standards of the country, and as well as to maintain and to go for higher standards in the economic affairs of the country. So this is all about the organizational structure and functioning of the finance ministry. So in today's class, we have discussed two topics, two units, that is from block 1, unit 3, that is the budgeting, preparation of the, in the budgeting process, we have discussed about the preparation of the budget, enactment of the budget, and as well as execution of the budget. And from block 2, unit 4, we have discussed about the organizational structure and the functions of the finance ministry or the Ministry of Finance. So this is all about the finance, Ministry of Finance. Thank you.